All right, everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of the Plotcast. This time we are doing the fourth episode of Arcane. I'm back again here with my friend Otis.
Hey guys.
Guys, don't forget, subscribe, please. I'm begging you. We have been on a dry spell with subscribers, so please, I need more. Well, that said, though, I guess we can get into it.
Sure. So
So, overall first impressions.
overall, for an episode that starts after a time skip, it's one of the best post time skip first episodes I've seen in quite a while. So the episode also succeeded in doing something I had not predicted would happen after episode 2 and 3.
What's that?
I I agreed with a point Heimerdinger made. I was
Oh,
like, oh, don't do this to me. I was having fun disliking this character. Don't give him another layer.
yeah. But it's kind of a transition episode.
Mm,
Not much action happening, just reestablishing the relations and the status of the world and
hmm.
built over.
Yeah, that
Um,
said, it doesn't feel like a slow episode. It really doesn't suffer from the lack of action. I was surprised when it was over. I was like, oh,
yeah, me
are
too.
we done yet? Already?
I think it is a little bit shorter though. I'm not sure. Maybe a few minutes.
Well, I clocked in, I believe, around 40 minutes. So I
Yeah.
don't, if it's shorter, it won't be by much, though. I think all of them are around 40, 45, though. To be fair, I didn't check.
So we open up with Jace and
Yes.
Victor and Heimerdinger going
Yeah.
over. Oh no, it's just Jace and Heimerdinger. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Victor's not in the scene yet. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
There's some things I did like is we learned that the city's 200 years old, so Heimerdinger's older than the city.
yeah, yeah,
We hear about this Stanwyck guy who's an old friend of Heimerdinger, who's a legend to Piltover University.
yeah.
Again, I have no LOL knowledge. I don't know if this was in any way relevant for the other established lore, but it was good
Not
to
that I
see.
know.
It was good to see Jace and Heimerdinger agree on something. So there's at least that.
I think he's thinking about himself as well, Heimerdinger, in the sense that this guy Stanwyck offered up his own um, discoveries to teach students, and
Mm.
maybe Heimerdinger did the same.
Maybe
Uh,
Stanwyck is gonna be revealed as being the mage who saved Jace.
yeah, who knows? Who knows? And he's musing about the council,
Mm.
and maybe he feels like his days are done. I don't
Hmm.
know what he's thinking,
Yeah, old
but he's
people.
praising Chase
Hmm.
for his discoveries. What we discover are the hex gates.
Yeah.
So yeah, recently you watched a stream of mine when I
Mm-hmm.
was playing LoL. Remember?
Yes, they look completely different.
Yeah.
But I
Uh,
like the visual in the series of the Hexgate. I liked where we see this one shot where a blimp, I think it's a blimp. They have the discussion in episode, but I forgot already. I always mix the things up. But I'm pretty sure it's a blimp that goes through a Hexgate, and that entire visual I liked quite a bit.
yeah. So Piltover has established fast travel, I guess, in the world. So yeah,
Mm,
that's huge,
yeah.
and
And
it
here we get, and also Heimerdinger is pushing Jace, because Jace needs to speech. We learn that Jace, with his discovery of Hextech and the Hex Gates, is a celebrity now. So his
yeah,
days of being discharged in disgrace are long behind. And Heimerdinger himself is pushing Jace to give the next reveal during the speech.
yeah,
So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess
And,
that's
uh,
it. Then
and
we
then we
get the
get,
intro.
yeah, and that's I'm pretty sure this time I liked it again, just like with episode 2. But if you remember, episode 1, the theme song was preceded by the child song. Episode
Yeah,
3, the theme was also preceded by another song. And for episode 2 and this one, it's not preceded. And I think it works better if there isn't another piece of music just before it, because I'm getting into it better and better. It's like every pop song. It's just if you hear it often enough, you'll say you like it just because you got indoctrinated.
yeah, yeah. It's with most songs, I
Mm.
think. Even pop songs you hate on the radio, at some point you're like,
Especially
it's
pop
actually,
songs you hate.
it's actually pretty good.
It's like our entire youth of going out to parties. We heard so many bad songs that we've just heard so often that we're kind of conditioned to like them because of the related memories, even if the song itself is not the best in the world.
Yeah. So
Mm.
then we open up with festivities for Progress Day.
Yeah, and I
Uh,
have to say, just that opening shot when I think it's like on a marketplace or something, it gave me very much Bioshock Infinite vibes. I don't
Bioshock
know.
Infinite. Yeah, well, it's steampunk, so I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, the every color, everything that we see, it all reminds me
Yeah.
a
Well,
lot
I
of
haven't
Bioshock
played Bioshock
Infinite.
Infinite.
Okay.
I played the first Bioshock a
Hmm.
little bit, but I guess I got bored of it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't finish it the first time either. I really had to make a concerted effort to get into it, and at a certain point, you it clicks, but it takes some time. And
Yeah.
if you don't want to invest the time, I mean, who can blame you? But
So
it,
Caitlin's parents are on the side of Jace again. All of a
oh
sudden,
yeah.
he's their famous protege after they abandoned him.
Hmm.
I guess he must, like, apparently he doesn't resent them, but I would probably.
Yeah, especially because they don't really respect their daughter's life choices, because in pretty much the same scene we established that Caitlyn is now a an enforcer,
Enforcer. Yeah.
and her mom looks rather angry, and it's like, yeah, Jace, out of that family, from what we've seen, Caitlyn is the one you actually, got along with the best.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
definitely. I guess they are just friends. I mean, I don't get like a romantic
romantic
vibe.
vibe, yeah, not
Not
really.
really. Um, no, they're just friends, it seems. Good friends, though.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. And after that, I guess, yeah, the scene where they try to smuggle one of the few action scenes in this episode,
Yeah,
where
and
we get to see Jinx for the
yeah,
first
that
time.
I was like watching it and it's like, okay, so we're in some lower docks, but not in the undercity, just lower in the upper city. We see some shots of a character in a mask.
Hmm.
Then we see some tattooed people carrying odd barrels, bribing, implying that the friend below, so implying that it's Silco.
Yeah, well, you could recognize two characters, like the brown woman, I forgot her name, and the guy with all his tattoos were also in the previous episodes.
Could very well be. It's only afterwards that I was thinking, oh, so that woman is probably the one we saw in the fight in at the end of the last episode, but she has not made any lasting impressions yet, so I wasn't sure.
Hmm.
Tattooed guy, I literally can't recall tattooed guy at all.
Yeah, well, he was just in the fight scene with Vi. I think he was the first one who
Got knocked down.
approached.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
ogre guy. Yeah,
yeah,
it might
I
indeed
guess
be
so.
him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what did you
and
say?
so yeah, the
Mm.
I don't know what they use on the. It's it's not named what they use to trap the the criminals, the bandits.
Yes, some
Silk
kind
Road.
of quick hardening resin.
Yeah. Any speculation on who this group is with their skateboards or whatever flyboards?
Well, I started off thinking, would this be Vi and her gang? Very clearly, we get to know it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's someone we know, I'd tend to think more than in the direction of Echo and some people, but I have too few clues to really make an assessment on who this
Mm-hmm.
could
Mm-hmm.
possibly. I don't think it's Jason Victor because they don't look like they've been in a fight in the later scenes. We know it's not Vi.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, for the age of the one person that's unmasked, must be other kids. It's not gonna be Deckard because yeah, we know what happens to Deckard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still blanking there.
Yeah.
So maybe next episode when we get some more clues, I can start
Yeah.
theory crafting.
So they get down in the cellar and
Yeah, but
Jinx is
before
waiting.
it's just their entrance I really liked with the hoverboards.
Yeah, I
Uh,
do wonder how they work though.
Hextech.
Well, as we learn later in the episode, Hextech is not available to the general public, so
Yeah, but yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
I
But
don't
yeah, I
know.
mean they have airships, so I kinda
Yeah, but the airships are mechanical, right? So that's just
mm,
a balloon and a propeller.
yeah.
So,
Mm.
hmm,
Yeah, no, good point. Maybe they'll mention it.
yeah.
Probably not.
Well,
It's
it seems like it might be kind of a mechanical thing because
mm,
the ends of the board are kind of thick, and who knows, there might be some kind of propeller in there, a
yeah.
very
There's also
fast propeller, but
yeah, but they did leave like green lines, so that implies more a magic thing.
yeah,
So yeah, I don't know. It's a good point. So maybe these guys are all mages,
yeah, maybe, yeah,
and
they
the
could be,
hoverboard is just enchanted.
yeah, they could be. Anyway, so Jinx makes her entrance. I was quite impressed
Yeah,
with
but
her
a bit
entrance.
before she makes her entrance, we get to know that the barrels contain shimmer, and it's a lot of shimmer.
A lot of
And the
shimmer.
mask people are not there to steal it or anything, they're there to burn it all.
Yeah,
And then we get
I do
two of
wonder
the.
who's it for, because they are
Uh,
clearly shipping it to Piltover, so someone in Piltover
I'm
must
guess.
have ordered it.
Well, I'm guessing black market, because later on we see in the Undercity that it's not just a monster serum; it's also a hard drug.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I'm guessing something along those lines.
yeah,
Um, and it's we've got two of our not two our characters, but two characters go down a hatch, and it closes, and then you see a purplish image, and it's like, oh, that's Jinx's monkey. I think we're gonna see Jinx,
yeah,
and then we get a she's here.
yeah. So Jinx has built up some notoriety
Hmm.
already with, I guess, the Undercity.
Hmm.
So she's well known, and apparently her bombs work these days. So
Yeah.
they're afraid for obvious reasons.
Yes, she quite literally blows them up.
Yeah,
It's she's a murderer now. That's quite firmly established.
yeah. And then she encounters one of the guys and she loses her helmet. And I thought it was very well done at that point to showcase Jinx's insanity, like the way they shift the images and stuff.
Hmm. I think there's a later scene that works better for me.
Hmm.
I know what they were going for and wasn't badly done, but I bought it less here than later on.
I
But
thought
it's
it was Vi at first too, though, until
yeah, but
she
it's a bit
moved
odd.
her
So
mouth.
I was looking, I was like, I don't think that's Vi. What's going on? Ah, she's placing Vi on this character. Okay. Because I
Yeah,
figured if Vi was gonna be anyone in that crew, it was gonna be the leader of the crew.
yeah,
So, yeah. But yeah, indeed, one of the masked people has a passing resemblance to Vi. Jinx freaks out. Turns out, with her skinny, no strength arms, she can hold and fire a minigun without any issues.
yeah.
So I'm guessing at this point she's on the shimmer.
Not sure about that. You
Mhm.
don't know how it's made, though. She's got it over her shoulder, so it's
Yeah,
not
but
like she's just holding it with her.
when she starts shooting it, it's the knockback alone that requires
Yeah,
quite some strength. So to me,
true.
also, I mean, her insanity now is worse than when she was little.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she's clearly surrounded by shimmer, so I'm thinking, maybe it could even be accidental exposure, someone sneaking it
Yeah,
into her without her knowledge. But I'm getting the feeling a bit she's on the shimmer, and later scenes kind of to me imply even more that she's on it. But
yeah. Okay.
that's theory
Um,
crafting.
yeah,
But
so she has kind of an apparently the brown lady and her don't really see eye to eye. They kind of hate each other,
mm-hmm.
and that's the end of the scene.
Yep. And then
And
we
then
get
we get
Jason
Victor,
Victor.
one of the most more interesting scenes in this episode. I mean,
Yeah,
this episode it was good, it was interesting, but very forgetful to me.
yeah, it's again a world building episode. It's a bit
Yeah.
like the first episode was also more world building than anything else.
Hmm.
I think this is taking the same principle a bit further because now we don't need to really introduce a lot of characters, so we can really focus on the situation, which you do have to do after a time skip because your characters, they're the same, but they're no longer the same. Time has passed, so any good time skip will make sure that your characters have had some form of evolution in the meantime.
Yeah.
So I think really it works. It doesn't work as a standalone episode, but then none of these really do.
No.
But yeah, I would agree. Out of the four we've seen so far, it's probably the one I'm gonna remember on its own the least. But
Yeah.
still, there's some stuff in here. Again, it's the episode that made me agree with Heimerdinger on something. So,
Is it this scene then that made you agree with him?
yes. So we see them talking, and they wanna. We learned the hex gates wasn't their concept. The council asked them to create those,
Yeah.
and now they're at a point in their um yeah in their development that they want to decide the next step themselves.
Yeah.
Uh, and we
I
see
guess they've
then
gotten enough medals or whatever to be able to do that now. So yeah,
yeah, so they have enough acclaim to start making their own
acclaim.
decisions.
And so
Um,
they have developed some kind of thing that can hold the hex stack power, I guess, without
yeah,
exploding on
yeah,
everyone.
it's a bit they've stabilized the actual gems, so it's not like there's a construct that stabilizes it around it. I really got the implication it's because the unstable ones, we see these are these unrefined crystals and they're very fragile. And now we see a perfect sphere, and then Chase goes and hits it with a hammer, and we just see some sparkles, and the gemstone is undamaged.
Yeah,
So they've what do you call? I think they mentioned it that it's a stabilized a hex tech gemstone. We fortified it. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was cool concept.
And so they made two devices that
Yeah,
work with
that
it.
I had to laugh a lot with that. The Atlas gauntlets, the gloves, and the Doctor Octopus laser claw, and then their entire claim that when they're explaining it is always from a tool-based perspective. And I
Yeah,
was sitting there, you just crushed a rock with
yeah,
the gauntlets. You just shot a laser with the tentacle,
Yeah,
the obvious weapons cannot be sold as tools. And
yeah.
then we get to the point where I agree with Heimerdinger that he said you need to safeguard this before you release it to the general public. And I was sitting there, yes, yes, they have to safeguard this stuff before they start selling it to the general public.
Yeah, I guess they're just a bit naive on this point.
Yeah, they're a bit overly optimistic. They want to save the world, but I was like, yeah, there is no scenario in which this is gonna end well if you just bring this on the market as is.
I do like the reaction. I did like the reaction of Victor to Heimerdinger when he shot the laser, because Victor is actually he's also a champion in the game,
Mm.
but he looks much different. And uh, one of his gadgets is exactly the thing that he made. It's like
Ah, okay.
his thing. So I did like his reaction, like, "Huh? Oh, I like this so much." Um, so yeah, yeah. But so Heimerdinger's like, guys, you have to watch out with this stuff. Um, and Jace is kind of moody, wary about it, I guess.
Well, it's a bit yeah, last time he revealed something to Heimerdinger, though he didn't choose to reveal it, it didn't end well. I think he's also yeah. We see later on the success is going a bit to his head.
Yeah,
And it's yeah, it's his baby.
of course. How many years have passed? I guess
I don't
Chase
know.
is 27 now. I think it's about 3 years, right? No,
I
must be
have
more actually.
it must be more because Jinx compared to Powder looks
Yeah,
looks like she went from 10, 12 to 16, 18.
yeah. On the other hand, Victor didn't change anything. I guess he
He's more
found it.
sickly.
Is he?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Later on the
Yeah, I
coughing.
guess he is barely even able to walk
Hmm.
sometimes in this episode.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Also, Caitlyn
Caitlyn
looks
definitely
looks
aged.
also more than 3 years older.
Yeah, I would say 6 years maybe
Yeah.
then, something like that.
Yeah, I think 6 years, 5, 6 years. Also, we need to take into account it's gonna take some time to build these hex gates, convince other regions to also build one. So,
Well, I'm not sure if other regions need it to be able to travel to other regions. Of course, traveling back will be,
what
or
is the travel back? Because we see in the way we see the hex gate work, you need to hover in front of it. It needs to create its circles, turn you into a blue laser beam. I
yeah,
think
well, might
they'll.
might might be that they just travel to and then like in a flash of light, and then they have to travel all the way back home. I don't know.
Yeah, but then they wouldn't have become this very important trade hub. If it's hard to reach, even if they can reach you
Yeah,
quicker.
that's
Yeah.
true.
It's interesting from a military perspective, but for trade, it's not.
But I guess Jace would have had to set it up on in other regions then as well, because I would imagine they wouldn't just give up their secrets on how to build one.
Mm,
So yeah, he must have done a lot of traveling in the meantime, I guess.
yeah, so that's why I'm guessing 5, 6 years sounds more reasonable than 2 or
Yeah,
3.
yeah, okay.
Also, I mean, the Undercity has changed quite a lot, and yeah, economic progress is gonna trickle
We
down there
haven't
later.
seen the Undercity much this episode though, so I wouldn't be able to conclude it's changed a lot. Only
Yeah, but the parts we do see make it seem way more vibrant. And my note when we see the Undercity is apparently Vander disappearing is not all that bad for
yeah,
fun in the Undercity.
yeah, it's true.
But
Okay,
before
but
we get that shot of the Undercity, we get Caitlyn's next scene.
Caitlyn, I guess it's more of a Caitlyn focused episode.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, which is good because we haven't really seen much of her before. So if they
I
want
do
to
like
make her
her
a
character.
character,
She's also, or she was, one of my most favorite champions in the game. She's also a champion.
Yeah,
After
yeah,
the
you mentioned that before.
okay.
Yeah. I don't know
Um,
if we mentioned it on episode, but you mentioned it offline
yeah,
at the very least.
yeah. So she's doing her own investigation because she's curious and she wants to do more than just yeah, walk around and do nothing. I guess heard the drunkards, as Chase said it.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, it's and she's actually pretty good at the whole investigating thing from this scene, what we see. So
yeah, definitely better than Marcus.
yeah, she's wasted as a street cop.
Yeah, of course.
Mm. But yeah,
Um,
indeed, she goes then into the hatch. She's also taking evidence pictures everywhere, and then she
mhm.
finds her tattooed guy who's hurt. And then I was not aware that the sheriff guy that shows up was Marcus at all until very late in the episode that they actually mention it. I
Oh,
just have it noted down as arrogant sheriff shows up.
yeah, I could understand why you didn't recognize him, although no, I wouldn't say he's very recognizable
It's
still.
the mustache.
Yeah, he didn't have
I
it.
don't know. I don't think he had a mustache in the last
Yeah,
three
yeah,
episodes.
yeah. I guess, yeah.
And also, yeah. I was like,
He looks a
okay,
bit more
who the hell is this
regal.
guy?
Hmm?
I was a bit like, who the hell is this guy? Is this Grayson's replacement? Where's Marcus? Ah, it is Marcus. All right.
Yeah, it is Marcus. So, what did you think of Marcus's reaction?
Um.
Was
Oh
it
well,
in line
either
what you would
he's
expect from him?
yeah. It's like at the end of episode three, I got kind of the implication with him and Vi that he had remorse and he now wanted to stop Silco. And then we get this scene, and I'm like, are you back on the take?
Yeah, it
So
seems that way. I'm not sure if it's either that he doesn't like Caitlyn or that he's indeed back in business with Silco and making sure he can do his trades. So I'm not sure yet. I don't remember actually.
yeah, it might be a bit a dark reflection of the Grayson Vander deal, maybe. I don't know. Um, I'm interested to figure it out. I do hope we'll get, and I'm pretty sure we'll see more because we also need to understand how Vi ended up where she ends up. So
Well,
yeah,
I would assume that Marcus just like the other guy just put her there.
yeah. But again, then it doesn't make sense that he would more or less save her at the end of episode three if it was just to lock her up. Because at the end of the episode, we figure out she's locked up. So
Yeah, well, I think he just wanted to take home a prize that he could show to the council, like I deserve to
yeah,
be like a sheriff because I actually brought home the perpetrator of what started all this. So,
yeah, maybe. But again, it's I don't know. It was I got a different vibe at the end of episode three than when I watch where she ended up now in episode four.
hmm
So, but I do think yeah, we'll learn more. So you might be right. I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know what conclusions to draw here. I'm a bit confused at the moment.
okay, okay. So Caitlin gets sent off to an even more boring mission, and then we see indeed the Undercity where
Yeah.
it's party all day long, all night long.
Hmm.
And Silco is now the head of state by his, um, I guess, by his residence in the, what's it
Yeah,
called? The
he
Last Drop.
yeah he took over from Vander. He's now the new big man in the Undercity, clearly.
hmm
So yeah, it's a bit. There's some good no, info dumps here. So the topsiders are advancing due to the hex gates, and they're running behind. They feel like they've been cut off even more. Though that said, again, there's clearly something trickling down because they're in better. Well, I don't know if we can say better, but at least it looks a bit more affluent than they were before. So
Well, I guess the only reason that what we saw from the Undercity before was going badly is because of the problem they had with the enforcers. I imagine before the whole debacle with Vi and the kids, that it was pretty okay, and that everyone managed to eat. And I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, but
Yeah, I know, but there's more of a general club vibe. It's a bit
yeah, but
like
that might be the shimmer, right? So
yeah, that might be the shimmer indeed. It's yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. It looks a bit more affluent than it was before. Before it was more poverty docs kind of stuff we saw, and now we see more yeah clubs and that kind of stuff.
yeah,
But yeah, it's
yeah.
we have
So
a
the
conversation between Silco and his main henchwoman,
yeah,
but then the henchwoman leaves, and then we discover that Jinx is up in the rafters.
yeah. So she's very close to Silco.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
she does act a bit, and that's another reason I think she's on the shimmer. She acts a bit like a junkie woman in a typical movie who wants to get close to the boss. Because you don't get a
yeah.
parental vibe in the way she's acting. Eh? You get more. She's some kind of sick, depraved love than anything
Hmm.
familial.
I don't know what she thinks the relationship is, or what he thinks the relationship is.
I
Um,
don't think he sees it that way, but the way she's acting in the scene,
yeah,
I'm getting that vibe a bit, but not
yeah,
from his side. And then we see that he shoots shimmer in his eye. Well, she shoots shimmer in his eye because he wants it,
yeah.
which was a
Well,
bit
I'm
creepy.
not sure if it's because he's addicted to, or it does something good for him in the eyesight department.
Yeah, because it's in the bad eye that they shoot it,
Yeah,
so it might be a bit of both.
yeah. Well,
Because
it definitely
also,
shows this scene that they do trust each other,
hmm
um, like very closely.
yeah, and it's also in this scene though a bit earlier that we get more of an indication that the henchwoman is on Shimmer. She
Yeah,
has,
she has the thing in her cheek, right?
hmm yeah, and
So
a bit more aggressive than she was before in the previous episodes. So.
I guess, yeah.
Mm.
Um,
That's a bit this scene where then Silco says that Jinx needs to go to her workshop and work on her tools rather than try to do another job.
and we all know what happens when you tell Jinx to stay home.
Yeah, does not end well for anyone involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we have our next scene.
The party, or I guess the speech thing. Is that now?
It's preparation on the speech. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is yeah, there's this party thing going on where Councillor Medarda is at. Though I wasn't sure if it was still Councillor Medarda or if we had the implication it's now the daughter, because she looks like younger than she did in the previous episodes.
Oh,
But that might be the lighting and setting. Um,
mm, yeah. I wouldn't say she looks younger, but definitely not older.
mm,
Um,
but yeah, Jason and her have a conversation regarding Heimerdinger's recommendation to hold off a bit longer, but she's really pushing Jace to do the reveal, and then she also says, I want you to become a leader. And
yeah,
I've already spoken to investors and things like that. So it's in line with her previously shown character motivation of trying to put
yeah,
Piltover on the map and becoming more relevant in the world.
yeah. She's very
Ambitious.
opportunistic, as
Both.
sh
Yeah.
as she says. Like these people can't offer me anything but chase, so I'm
hmm
not even gonna talk to them.
hmm
Yeah.
And then,
Her serving woman does mention her mother. Seems like she has some mommy issues, but other than that, we don't get much from her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's because of the mention of the mother that I started to doubt for a second. Are we still seeing Medarda, or are we now seeing Medarda's daughter?
Yeah.
But
Well, Medarda is still her last name, right? So
okay, so then it might still be. Yeah, I don't know. It's
I don't know what her first name is.
yeah. Yeah, I think the subtitles had it captured as Mel at one point.
I guess
So
it
that
must be Mel, yeah.
gave me some Firefly flashbacks. But yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
We cut on to Jinx in the workshop where she's blowing stuff up and having even worse delusions than before.
Yeah. When I first saw the scene, I was like, okay, what the hell? She made dolls from,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I guess it does show that she still has remorse about it. So
Mm.
she's not all there, of course, but she's still human.
Visually, it was very well done. With here more than in the previous scene where she had her delusions, it was.
Yeah.
I think here it looked a lot better on screen.
Yeah.
But there's yeah, not a whole lot to say about the scene otherwise.
Progress Day. Yeah.
But then we get to speech time. And this is where you notice that Victor's in a worse shape than before. He's
Yeah.
coughing. He's leaning very heavily on a way bigger cane than the previous episode's cane.
That's true.
And so that was a bit like, okay. But
And
then, yeah.
apparently he doesn't want to go on stage. I would have liked to see them both, though.
hmm
But yeah, Jace takes the stand.
Has a very uninspiring speech, really.
Yeah, very short, very uninspiring.
Mhm. What I did like,
Debating
sorry, go
eh,
ahead.
again, choosing sides between Medarda and Heimerdinger.
Yeah, and I like the decision that he made. That he's like, I will share, or we will share when the time is right. The very first note I made on that scene was good call. It's
Yeah, I would say the same.
mhm. Because even with that, he managed to still get the audience pumped up again. So
Yeah, he's still a handsome young man, so I guess he just has to smile and people are
well,
going to cheer.
he's also the root cause for a lot of their economical progress that they've made in the last few years. So you
Yeah,
have to be a really huge kind of yeah bad person in
yeah,
order not to get the audience on your side. But Medarda leaves angry.
yeah. Jace notices. I
hmm
hope he doesn't. Well, I'm not saying anything. Uh, Too bad I can't say anything though.
Yeah, but I'm getting the feeling that he's falling in love a bit, and she's clearly manipulating him to get what she wants. So yeah.
Do you get the feeling it's? I'm looking forward to season two because then we both can speculate on that. I
Mhm,
just don't remember if I had that, if I did get that feeling or not,
mhm.
or another feeling maybe.
But I'm getting this vibe a bit that
Yeah,
she wants him in her corner because he has the knowledge that she
I guess
needs
I
to
was still on
progress.
the Caitlyn Jace train
Oh
at that
yeah.
point.
Mm.
I wanted them to get together. Um,
But yeah, we
but yeah,
cut.
so we see Caitlyn as well,
Yeah,
just
and
looking out, hearing Chase.
yeah, getting mocked by her fellow officers because she has had a very fortuitous youth, and they come from more common stock, if we can put it that way.
Yeah, but she
Uh,
doesn't take it in a bad way, so I
yeah, I
like
know
it.
she clearly dislikes it, but she's not being all arrogant and difficult about it. So she made the decision to do this, and she clearly knows what comes with that. That
Yeah,
it's not expected of her station to do this, but she's convinced that she can do the most good. So kind
and
of
then
like
there's a
her
fire.
motivation. And then there's a fire.
That's one thing I'm I'm unclear about is how the Jinx know where to find this crystal.
The only thing I can think of is that it's not exactly a state secret where the most famous person in Piltover has a lab.
Yeah,
And he did say, we have something ready. So who knows,
yeah,
maybe she heard the speech or one of the informants of Silco mentioned it where she was in the area. Though there isn't a lot of time between
yeah,
Israel. So that's indeed a bit I also was a bit confused. So I'm trying to
yeah.
think of what it could be, but indeed it's not properly explained or shown.
Hmm.
It's neither show nor tell.
Yeah, I guess there have been a few instances where they do stuff like this, and I hope they can do it better in the second season. Stuff like this. While it
Yeah,
doesn't bother me, it does. I would rather it not be there.
yeah, but it's a bit like the previous episode of the Orville that we discussed. There's some stuff that you can mention after seeing the episode that you're like, oh, this or that. But while you're watching, you don't really notice yet.
That's true. I guess what matters
But yeah,
the most.
we have the fire, and for me, the obvious trap was obvious. I don't know if you had the initial thought as well, but the second you hear the fake child voice, I was like, okay, this is a trap. So
Yeah, well, I
obviously a trap.
wasn't sure if it was just a trap or if she was just playing because she's insane.
Mhm.
So I didn't know the building was actually going to explode, but
Well, I figured it was going to because we've already established in this episode that she doesn't care if she murders someone or not. So,
yeah, I guess
yeah,
she does it for fun then.
there's an explosion. Caitlin's like right in front of the explosion, and she just gets a cut that takes a single patch on her face, and that's it.
Yeah,
But yeah, she sees Jinx as she survives, and before she passes out, she
imagine if
sees
they
Jinx.
actually just burn her face and then for the whole rest of the show she's like the ugliest person ever.
Would
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, well, it takes it into a whole different category. It would be funny because in League of Legends, of course, she's also a beautiful woman. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but then
but
they can establish some kind of hex tech illusion ring or something.
I guess yeah. Well, so next scene we have the council debating what to do about this incident.
Yeah, and that's a bit where Jace started losing me. Yeah, so he takes up responsibility. Then I'm like, okay, that's fine. Though don't take up, unplaced responsibility either. But then he wants to restrict all hex tech, including the gates. And I'm like, nothing of what we know that has been stolen would imply that the gates are suddenly dangerous to you. I don't understand that piece. I
I think
understand the whole we can make weapons out of the stabilized crystals and things like that, but the gates don't even operate on those crystals. So
I
yeah,
think he's just very much like taken aback by what happened, and in line with what Heimerdinger said, he might have been thinking because we know he's a very like black or white person,
yeah,
like with suicide thoughts and whatever.
hmm
Um, very neurotic. So in line with what Heimerdinger was talking about, he was like maybe like, okay, it's already shown to be too dangerous
hmm
uh, to operate. So yeah, maybe that's why.
yeah, but it was a
Of
bit.
course, I don't agree with him either, but
Yeah, no, but the way you explain makes a bit more sense because
it's
to me it
kind of
was
a
a bit
Jace
like,
thing to do. I
yeah.
feel like it's in line with his personality.
But yeah, Chancellor Medarda has a radical solution: make Chase a counselor and give him the obligation to protect the hex tech. And Heimerdinger seconds, and I was sitting there like, how is that gonna resolve anything?
Well,
But
then
okay,
they don't. Then they can, it's politics. So then they can put all the responsibility on him
yeah,
when the
yeah.
city explodes.
Yeah, and this is the point where I was in of two minds. It's either she's setting him up to fail because she's angry that he didn't do what she wanted, or she's using this as leverage to get him back fully on her side so she can exploit him later
Hmm.
on. But I don't have a positive thought about her motivation at this point. I don't get the feeling that this comes from a
Well, she
positive
does.
point.
I'm not sure if it's an Inception thing or not, but she does seem to imply that Chase could be the next Heimerdinger, but I'm not sure if Heimerdinger is now off the council or not.
I think he's still on the council. I think it was more a point that she made to highlight you don't need to be of noble stock to be on our council because we
Yeah,
have a counselor here who got on because he was a brilliant scientist. And she's more making the comparison of Jace is his generation's Heimerdinger. That's
yeah,
more the feeling I got. So I think there are now 8 counselors.
yeah.
That's how
Okay.
I interpret that scene.
Yeah,
But
I
I
think
could be
so
wrong.
too, but I wasn't. I was
Hmm.
entirely sure.
You know, because I was thinking the same while I was watching it. I think for myself, I decided that what they mean is he's the additional counselor now, though later episodes can prove me wrong. But
Yeah.
for now, that's my headcanon until I get contradicted by actual canon.
I was glad to see, and you must have been glad to see as well, that Heimerdinger was not pro Jace's idea of shutting down the hex gates.
Yeah, it was like Heimerdinger is consistently being reasonable this episode, and it confused the heck out of me. I was like,
Well,
where's the weirdo who didn't understand what we was talking about? So the time skip also gives us some character development of Heimerdinger that occurred.
yeah, I guess 6 years for him is not a lot though, but
Yeah, but still, you can change your opinions in so 300. So let's assume he's at the end of his life. Let's assume he gets up to 400. So 6 years is about what, a year and a half for us?
why would you assume that he gets up to 400?
Well, he's an old man now, but he doesn't seem infirm yet. So I would guess he's more at the 3/4 point in his life
Okay,
than really at
okay.
the end of life. I'm just trying to make some quick calculations.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
would say,
I wouldn't know. I
yeah,
wouldn't know
it's
how long he still has to go.
yeah, again, headcanon until I get contradicted that trolls live up to 1200 or whatever.
Trolls,
I keep calling him a troll. I keep forgetting what his
Yordles.
species. Yord. Yeah, sorry,
They
Zosor,
haven't
but
established that yet. I
yeah,
don't
they
think.
haven't mentioned it, and it's not exactly a memorable species name.
He
I think
doesn't.
I'll have the same problem that you have with all of Orville, though I can at least remember Heimerdinger's name by now.
Wait, let me try. Uh, Bortug?
Bortus.
Oh, I was very close. Yeah, guys, watch the Orville episodes. They are very good as well. I mean, um, if you like this, you must like the Orville as well. Uh,
And subscribe so you'll know when we publish the next episode.
well, actually, for that you have to also do the bell thing.
Isn't that
No
don't you
subs.
have to turn that off if you subscribe if you don't want to be
No,
notified? Because
it's
my
not.
app keeps pushing
No, it's not
unless I turn it off.
automatically on.
Oh, okay.
And you get notifications if we upload when you do the bell thing. And if you subscribe, it just heightens the chance that our videos will be in your feed.
Okay. I thought if you subscribe that notifications are on unless you turn them off. But it might be a user setting I've got turned on somehow.
Could be, could be.
I have to check.
In any case, so we have the next scene. Jinx is doing some tool works.
Yeah, her
Apparently,
song choices clearly reflect just how insane she is.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, it's a song describing insanity, so it was like very, very, very on the nose.
Okay, okay. Well, apparently murdering people makes her very happy.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, she's a bit of a psychopath.
yeah.
But yeah, there's
Silco, I guess disturbs her.
well,
And
Silco's angry, so
yeah.
he comes to confront her. She's still giddy of a successful heist, despite the fact again she killed quite a lot of people there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she kind of calms him down, though doesn't completely convince him. She calms him down by showing the stable crystal that
Yeah.
she's
And
stolen.
Silco does say, mainly he blames her for killing the enforcers,
Yes, yes,
which
indeed.
must mean that that he does still, well, it's not 100%, but he probably still has an agreement with
Why not
Marcus.
necessarily? Because it's a bit like in the real world. Being a cop killer is still, despite the fact you know it shouldn't, but cop killers will be chased even harder than
Yeah.
normal murderers. Not to imply that they don't chase normal murderers, but there's such a term as
Yeah, that's
cop
true, I
killers,
guess.
so
Yeah.
that might also be what he's implying is like they're leaving us alone for now, but this act will again. But then again, yeah, we still don't know why the riots didn't really occur, unless, of course, the flashback scenes later on will show us that the riots occurred before the time skip. So yeah,
Yeah.
it could go any direction still.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
a
not
question
sure
mark.
either. I don't remember. Um, so then we get Jace giving
Yeah,
flowers, Caitlin, who
yeah,
throws him away.
yeah.
Thought it
And
was funny.
Caitlin's
Uh,
still investigating, and she's
I
on
like
Jinx's
Caitlin.
trail. Yeah, she's a. I like Detective Caitlin a lot more than sad rich girl Caitlin. She now has purpose, and I'm kind of on board. She's also in the interest song with a weapon, so she's going to at least fight in this series as well, not just as a hero in the game. So I'm
Hmm.
looking forward to that. She's quickly becoming my favorite character,
Yeah, I think she might be my favorite character, actually.
and I'm very much looking forward to her interacting with Vi because Vi is my other favorite character. So
Yeah. So she's trying to connect the dots.
yep.
Chase isn't of much help.
No, he's like, oh, you can. I'm a counselor now. You can join my staff, and she's like, that's a ceremonial position. I'll be sitting behind a desk. He's like, yeah, your parents got you fired.
Uh, yeah. Well, I guess it was just an excuse for her mother to get her fired. I
Mm.
don't think it's really about her safety.
Oh no, no. So yeah, but yeah, Caitlin
I
doesn't want
do
to give
think
up the investigation.
I do think Jace should be more invested in this investigation though, because it's also
Yes,
about him.
yes, and in fact, he's the counselor responsible to protect his stuff, so he should be very much into this and trying to figure out who stole his stuff.
Yeah,
If if not, just to thank them for making sure he got to be a counselor.
yeah. Well, I'm not sure yet if he's happy with the position or.
Mm.
Well, I think he must be.
Well, he's lapping when he gives a speech. He's loving the adoration.
That's true.
So there's at least a part of him that doesn't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we get to our final scene where Caitlin goes to the prison to talk to tattooed guy because yeah he was betrayed by Jinx, got hurt by Jinx,
Mm-hmm.
and she thinks he might be willing to talk. And then we hear that our prisoner dude got beaten up, his jaw's broken,
Yeah.
and who did the breaking? It's Vi. So basically, Vi is now doing Silco's job as well without knowing it.
Well, I guess. Yeah. So that Vi still has a grudge on
Yeah,
the guy.
probably.
She
Yeah,
apparently remembers this guy.
yeah, yeah. But I thought it was okay, and then yeah, it's what it's something like who are you is the end, and I was like, okay, so next episode they better start with that conversation because now I get two characters I like getting to interact, so I'm interested again.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess it was a bit shorter this episode. Um, it ended maybe a little bit too quickly for me, but I guess it's a cliffhanger and they wanted to end it there.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know. There's really nothing I would add here. I have some questions, but it's the way they tell the story is good. I felt the pacing was very good, and again, when it was over, I did feel like, oh, is it over already? But it wasn't like, oh, this felt rushed or the
yeah, no, no,
story
no.
beats are off. It's like everything's on point and it's moving
I
forward and
guess
it's
it's
giving us
just
what we need.
yeah, I guess it's just well done then, I guess because I also
Hmm.
felt like I need more. So they do that very well.
Hmm. So yeah, we're almost at the halfway point and we're still going strong, I feel.
Mm-hmm. Any predictions for this?
Well, I'm pretty sure that Vi's gonna get her hands on the Atlas gauntlets. The
Yeah?
how and why I don't know yet, but they seem tailor-made for her.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, I would be hard pressed to disagree with you,
and
as
then
a League of Legends player would
and then
probably
yeah,
tell you.
I'm guessing Jinx is gonna become more insane before we finally manage to get some kind of a reconciliation going here. I do hope we get some kind of a reconciliation this season. Um, yeah. No, I don't. For the rest, it's a bit. There's a few moving pieces. Kind of curious
How do
where
you
we're
think the
going.
interaction between Vi and Caitlyn might go?
Well, either very good or very bad. For drama, it would be good if it's very bad. For my fun and enjoyment, I'd prefer it if they, rather quickly decide to work together.
Yeah,
Because I would, like if Caitlyn describes Jinx in some way and Vi makes a connection and they decide, okay, we'll go after it together, I'd like that more, I think. But
yeah,
yeah, it's a bit difficult to predict because these characters haven't interacted well
of course.
before. They're from different worlds, but Caitlyn is a bit more, you know.
Sheltered.
Yeah, but she's willing to learn more. She's not,
Yeah,
typical rich kid of arrogant and doesn't care about anything. So
yeah.
uh, I don't know.
How
It's
do you think the Silco Jinx relationship is gonna develop further?
well, I think Jinx is gonna become more and more obsessive, but I think Silco is gonna remain trying to guide her along the way he wants.
Do you think he
But
feels like a father to her, or does he has have ulterior motives?
well,
Or
there's always the motive of he wants to be the big guy, but I don't think there's anything sexual there, if that's the question.
no, no, no.
I think it's more he sees himself as a mentor, as if he manages to get and keep Jinx, that it's some sort of a victory over Vander still. Because I
Mm-hmm.
still think we're gonna see that reflection of what he and Vander had with now Vi and Jinx, and I think he's aware of that possibility and is
Yeah,
just trying to set up for it a bit as well because that would be his final victory over his brother.
yeah,
If Jinx wins over Vi, that means he won.
yeah.
So that's a bit what I think is more the direction.
All
Um,
right.
and I think yeah, he wants to set him up as the big leader, but that's separate from what I think he's trying to achieve with Jinx here.
Yeah.
But again,
Okay.
yeah, there's a bit too little in this episode to really go further on that
Mm-hmm.
just yet.
Well, okay then. Then I guess that was it. Any other closing thoughts or?
No, not immediately. I think we're gonna keep watching this. We're setting up again. So I think next episode will be where things go wrong again for our good guys, and then third episode it's gonna ramp up a bit. And then in the final three, I'm guessing we'll see a similar.
So you think the good guys are gonna win?
I think it's gonna become a point of, are there any good guys left?
Okay.
So far, Vi is still up for being a good guy, and Caitlyn's still up for being a good guy. So that's kind of why I'm hoping they'll get along.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody else is showing potential to get into that gray area.
Yeah.
So, and it fits the genre to become a bit more.
I guess they learned a bit from Game of Thrones in that sense.
Well, it's an older concept. It's a very within the whole steampunk and cyberpunk. It's well established
I guess,
kind of.
yeah.
So, yeah, maybe Game of Thrones for our generation repopularized it, but it's not exactly new. But I
Yeah.
think Game of Thrones is a bit worse that it basically almost everybody is a bad guy and anyone you can call a good guy gets killed off. So I don't think
Pretty
this
much,
is
yeah.
yeah, I don't think this is gonna go to that extreme, but I think everybody's gonna be morally gray. Because
Yeah.
Vi's gonna need to make a decision. I don't think she's gonna kill her sister. So
Yeah. Well, we'll see in the next episode, I guess.
all
Or
right.
perhaps in the next few episodes. Anyway, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, do the bell thing, whatever. Watch our series about the Orville as well. It's also very good. If you like this, you will like that. I would recommend to also watch the Orville if you haven't yet. It's also very cool. It's a bit different than Arcane, but it's very good. So, if you like this, I already said that. I guess we should just say goodbye then, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.
All right. Take care, you guys. Bye.